it's me. How are we today? Are we doing well? Are we having a lovely day wherever we may be? So, as I've been working with my clients online and in my studio, one of the things that I kind of wanted to come on and talk about today is we're focusing so much on disease right now in the world, in a world that is supposedly about healthcare. Maybe we should think about sustainable health and naturally repelling disease. I think it's time for us to actually focus more and more on our health, and we need to be proactively doing that so that we can sustain good health going forward. So what I thought about doing is I've got because 13 is my lucky number and I wrote them all down, but I have 13 tips or 13 things that I think that you should focus on going forwards into the world and going forwards with our lives. So number one is sleep. And we are living in a society which is chronically sleep impaired. You cannot live with vitality and energy if you are sleep impaired. So go to bed and at early enough time that you 90% of the time will wake up before your alarm goes off. Go to bed when your body is tired, when it's telling you, I'm sleepy, your eyes are starting to go and you're like, oh, but we fight it. Don't fight it, give into it. The body's great. Listen to the body when it tells you it is time to sleep, but also spend some time preparing yourself to go to sleep. So don't be looking at emails just before you're going to bed, or answering the phone, watching television. Give yourself at least an hour free from those things where you're just kind of being present with yourself, whether it be reading a book, but not having that TV and that blue light and everything keep going and activating your brain. Or even if you're thinking about a stressful day that you've got tomorrow, you need to physically allow that body time to get ready for sleep. So that's number one. Number two is play. Yes, we love to play. Don't we love to play? Don't you love to just put your hair up, Sarah Crazy, just so that you can play around with it whilst you're talking to all those people out there? But seriously, guys, so many people out there right now are working, believing that there is a prize for the most stressed, exhausted person. Now, I've got some serious news for you. There is no prize. There is really no prize to being the most stressed, tired, exhausted person in the planet. So instead of getting to the point of regret and missed opportunities, maybe we should play once in a while. Yes, whatever it may be, whatever it is. Think about creating a fun list. Instead of a to-do list, think of a fun list. And make sure that you make time for that every day, something that brings fun into your life. Just think back to when you were 5 and just think about all those fun things and joyful things that you used to do on an everyday basis. Yes, we got more responsibilities now, but that doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't have fun. So think back to when you were 5. Think about what used to be fun. Think about things that can make life fun. Find something that brings light that you can do play with. So that's my number 2. Number 3. Your skin is a giant mouth. I know I've said this before, but whatever you're slathering on your skin right now is almost what you're putting in your mouth. So, those of you that are putting different things on their skin, would you actually eat it? That's my question. Would you eat it? And if you wouldn't, then don't be slathering it on your skin, because your skin is a big mouth. There's so many toxins in so many of the products out there right now that it's amazing what we're putting on our skin. So ask yourself that question. Would you actually eat whatever it is that you're putting on your skin? Number 4 is, wherever possible, I want you to eat real food. What do you mean by real food? Real food, not food substances. So something that may look like food, but it isn't really food. Think about your car, right? You wouldn't go out and put crap fuel in your car because it was cheap and convenient. So don't do that to your body. 90% of the time, I want you to put good food into your body. So think about foods that maybe your grandma would have made for you. So foods like veggies, fruits, proteins, nuts and seeds that you actually recognize as being those foods. There are a huge amount of chemicals, flavorings, preservatives, colors, sweeteners, texturing agents, hormones, and lots of toxins. These are mostly toxins. All these foods, if you can call them foods, are not fueling your body to heal and be at its best. So opt for the real food. Number 5, I want you to get outside. I want you to get fresh air. Fresh, clean air. Whatever the weather, right? Whatever the weather, I need you to get outside and get some fresh air. Have you ever thought about your indoor air quality? We are surrounded again by toxins, and that's coming from outgassing of our textiles, building materials. Yes, they're all in your home, your flooring, whatever it is, there's all kinds of toxic elements that are being lifted and drawn into your air every day. So I want you to get outside and actually get fresher air. I don't want you to be plugging yourself into a podcast or your iPhone or whatever phone and listening to your music. I want you to either leave that phone at home or at least put it in your pocket and actually be present with yourself outside, seeing what you can see around you, taking note of the environment, being at one with you, allowing yourself time to actually comprehend the thoughts that are going through your mind. Working things out, understanding who you are and understanding what you want, listening to your own inner voice, being present with your soul, being present with your heart, be present with nature. So much healing can come from this. So when I'm saying getting outside, remember, I'm not talking about plugging yourself into any kind of electronics. I need you to be present with yourself. Number 6, as much as possible, I want you to try to buy, and as much as your pocket will allow, organic foods. Now, I've already done a little brief thing on this last week, talking about organic foods, but a lot of those foods are heavily pesticided if you're not buying organic. And you can find out what the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen foods are, which I spoke about last week. But all of these foods that are pounded and sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, or even hormones that are added to our meats and things like that, they're all upsetting our endocrine system. And they're causing shifts in our hormonal balances. And we're seeing a huge surge in hormonal and estrogen mediated cancers in both men and women. So try as much as possible to buy your food organic. Number 9, pay attention to the oils that you're using. The oils that you use in your food, don't cook with those cheap, highly refined foods. You want to choose oils that are preferably cold pressed. And be aware that if you're eating out a lot, that quite often those restaurants are not going to be using the higher quality oils. They're going to be using the cheap vegetable oils that are highly processed. And when you're eating out a lot, they're very inexpensive, so that's why they're using them a lot. So don't fall foul of using those at home. Give yourself the opportunity of using the higher quality oils in your home. Number 10, replace the fluoride. So your toothpaste, I want you to choose the non-fluoride forms of toothpaste. Now, I get asked this question, does it kill the bacteria in your mouth? This is fluoride. Yes, it does. Does it increase your calcium intake? Yes, it does. So why am I saying don't have it? Because all those things come at a high cost. And the cost can be arranged depending on different people, but there's evidence to suggest that it upsets our thyroid. It can make you then become sluggish and overweight. It can also cause calcification of your pineal gland, resulting in people suffering with insomnia. So it's also having links, or there is evidence to suggest that it's also upsetting the IQ within our children. So before you go and get that fluoride toothpaste, or you go and have that fluoride treatment, maybe just take a moment just to think, or even investigate whether opting for another option, so not having a fluoride toothpaste, may be better for you. Number 11 out there is check your wellness markers. So advocate for your own body, all right? You are your best advocate to making sure that your health and wellness is at its best. So you can go to your doctor and get regular checkups, and you can get your blood work run, and you can get the results, and they can tell you everything is fine. But I want you to remember that everybody is different, and there are some key markers that I particularly like to look at. And again, be your own advocate. Look at your own numbers. We now have them on the apps. We now are given them. One of the ones that I think that we should be definitely aware of is your vitamin D. Get that checked at least twice a year. There are other companies out there, even if you want to just invest and pay for it yourself, rather than going to your doctor and getting it run, you can do it yourself. And do it twice a year. And I want you to get that range, ideally, between 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter. That is to give your body a great immune function. Okay, so that's 40 to 60. That's my recommendation. Also look at your RBC magnesium, not your serum magnesium, and I want that one to be in the upper third of the reference range. Your HbA1c, I want you to aim for that to be less than 5.2%. Or at least less than that even would be even better. Our carbohydrate tolerance is unique, and it depends on genetics, lifestyle, and nutrition. So again, that's a guide, but I would ideally like it 5.2 or less. Also, when you're looking at your cholesterol and everything like that, pay note of your triglycerides. Again, I want that ideally in a range of 50 to 100 milligrams per deciliter. Okay, number 12. Food made with flour should be only 10% of your diet, not 90% of your diet. So I want you to take a moment to think about what you're eating. How much flour is in your food? And it's actually very interesting. I know I've spoken about sugar, but I want you to think also now about flour. We have an epidemic of insulin resistance and a progression of metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes. This begins and is exacerbated by the diet. So minimize your sugars and your sweeteners, but flours are also acting like sugars. So have a look at those ingredients. Try to avoid all those processed foods, because most of those processed foods have thickening agents, and quite often they're using flour. Even some of the supplements that you may be taking. Just take a look to see what's in these things. Be mindful about what you're feeding your body and adjust it so that now we're only using flour 10% rather than 90%. So make sure you adjust that. Work towards getting to only having 10% of your diet as flour. My last one, my lucky 13. Be part of something wonderful that is larger than you. Make your life mean something that inspires you to the core. Don't fall into boredom and then get depressed. Find a cause or something that highlights your unique talents. You totally have got some great talents. You have them, find them, promote them, be inspired by them, and inspire others with your purpose. Highlight them, bring them out, sing them to everybody. Remember, you are unique and they are so powerful to you. If you don't know really what it is or even where to start, my biggest thing to suggest and recommend to you is that you start with a gratitude journal. And it doesn't have to be writing it down necessarily. You don't need to get caught up in, oh, I've got to buy a journal and I've got to write it down. Just think, even as you're outside getting your fresh air, think about it. What is it that you're bringing to the world? What is your uniqueness? What are you grateful for on an everyday basis? What is it? Share it with me. Share it, share it, share it. I'm going back because I forgot. I wrote it down on my other side of my paper. So that was number 13, but I have actually 2 more that are really important. Number 7. Just so that when you rewind this, you're like, wait, Sarah, you went from number 6 to number 9, and I missed number 7 and 8. But that's what life is about, is learning to roll with the punches, Sarah. We roll with the punches. And it's quite appropriate that my number 7 is stop beating yourself up. Stop beating yourself up. Don't be your biggest critic. Share love to yourself. Sometimes we make mistakes. It's okay. That's part of being human. Don't be the biggest stress in your own life. Don't make yourself your biggest stressor. Honor who you are. Do what makes you happy. What brings you pleasure? What brings you joy? What do you really want to do on a day-to-day basis that makes you happy? Choose fun, fulfilling activities. Stop using the words like should, must, I have to. Use the word I choose. If you then start choking when you say I choose to be a victim, or I choose to not do something, I choose to eat this, and it makes you choke on your words, then maybe you should change it. Honor your truth. Make time for your own spiritual practice, whatever that may be, so that you can connect with who you truly are. There is no prize at the end of life for the fact that you forced yourself to do all these things that really don't bring you joy and that you don't enjoy. So, honor who you are. Be true to who you are. My number 8. I love this one. I try to do this every day. I'm drinking my water. Drink clean water. Check the quality of the water that you're drinking. If you're getting it from your municipal, whoever's providing you with that water, go and get it checked. Just make sure. Or invest in a filter. Make sure you're filtering your water. Not the bubbly waters, not the carbonated waters, not water added with all these different things to flavor it. Maybe some of the juice from lemons, yes, that's okay. Be aware though, if you're using juice from lemons or limes, if you're buying non-organic, think about the pesticides that are on the rind of your juice, okay, on there. So if you're putting it in, maybe squeeze the juice in, don't let it sit in that water. That's one little extra tip there. Be aware of the toxins that are coming from your water. So fresh, clean water. Give yourself that elixir of life, which is that fresh, clean water. So even though I muddled them up, but I'm human and I acknowledge that sometimes I do make mistakes, but I have given you my 13 tips today. I hope I haven't missed any others out for, did I miss any others? No, I didn't miss any others. My 13 tips for good health. Remember, you are your own advocate. Take your control of your own life, your own health. Do not be giving your health care out there to somebody else. It starts with you. We do need healthcare occasionally, but if you can invest in your own healthcare, hopefully you won't need that healthcare in the future. Advocate for yourself. Be well, team. I love you guys. And put your hair up like a crazy person and run around and do something fun today. Remember, joy, joy, joy. Love you guys. Have fun with my tips. Let me know how you get on. Let me know if these were helpful, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Hi Donna, hi Roseanne, it's good to see you guys. I love it when you jump on. I am sorry that you're joining me at the end, but hopefully you can watch the rewind and my tips will help you on the way. Take care.